Hello, you must be watching this video because you want to know how to control the SJCAM, and we're talking today about the M20. Enjoy this tutorial. First of all, I'm gonna make you familiar with all the buttons and switches around this camera. That's the on and off button that you need to press for 1 or 2 seconds to turn on or turn off the camera. That's the shutter release button for taking a photo or to start or stop a video. On the side you have 2 other buttons. If you press this one, you're probably gonna end up in the Wi-Fi menu, and here is a lower one, or you can use both of these buttons to step through the camera's menu. On the other side there is just the micro SD card slot and some ports for the HDMI and micro USB. Let's turn on the camera. Press the on and off button for about 1 to 2 seconds, then you have an intro screen, and that's the display that you can expect to see on the first time when you turn on the camera. On the upper left, you're now recording in 1080p, 25 frames per second, and in a wide angle. Here's the battery status. We're recording this with audio. On the lower side you have some unuseful information like the date, the time, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't fill that small display with these unuseful information. And on the lower right side, I think that's a really nice information to have. That's the remaining storage. Now here I'm using a 64 GB card, and I'm still able to use 59.5 gigabytes. To start a video, press the shutter release button. Here's the time, and the flashing red dot indicates now you're recording a video. If you press it again, it will stop. If you wish to take a photo now, press the on and off button. And as you can see, now you went into the photo mode. There's a little camera here, and 16 means now you are taking this photo with 16 megapixels, and still the indications down here, they don't change. So if you want to take a photo, press the shutter release button once. If you want to take another one, press it again, and that's it. If you want to go back into the video mode, press the on and off button again. Then the camera jumps into the menu. If you press it again, you find yourself ending up again into the video mode. Let's say you want to change the resolution of your video to 4K instead of 1080p. Go to the side, press the arrow that points downwards, and then you find yourself in the video menu. It says video menu here. If you do that into the photo mode, you end up in the same menu, but it should say photo and it should say resolution as well. But for some reason in the video mode you can change the resolution of the video, for example from 4K, 720p, 1080p, and in the photo mode you just change the megapixel. So let's assume, as I said, you want to record your video now in 4K. Press, if you're here on the point resolution, press on the shutter release button. Then you can change the resolution and the frame rate by stepping up or down using these 2 buttons. For instance, if I step down now, it does this. If you want to step up, using the upper switch here. And the highest resolution that I can use now is 4K with 24 frames per second. To select this point, press the shutter release button once. And now, as you can see, you're now recording a video 4K, 24 frames per second, because as I said, that's the highest frame rate you can get in 4K in wide. To change that again, let's say to 1080p, 25 frames per second, press this button again, step down, select it with the shutter release button, and that's it. Let's assume you want to change the angle. so what you can see. I take now the advantage of this device here, a lens protection case. Then I'm gonna change the field of view by pushing again the down pointing arrow. Select field of view fourth and then go to narrow. Go back or go out of the menu by pushing the on and off button. And then as you can see, you have this field of view. And just remember that for a second. Then I go back, fourth, and say white. Go back, and as you can see, you change the field of view. Now you can see much more on your screen. What else do we get into the menu? We got a low light mode, really good for low light situations. Gyro sensor, that's the image stabilizer of this camera. By selecting this one, it cuts a little bit off from your video, but it stabilizes your video. Then you can deselect or select the audio, the volume. You can put in a timestamp as well. So if you're home and watching the video, you always have an indication at what date and what time you took that video. What else do we got? Sharpness, maybe important to you. You can change the white balance. One of another cool points here is color. If you select color, you can say, okay, I want the colors to be normal, or I think it should be something like neutral, black and white, retro, warm, or cool. These filters are not available for the GoPro, so it's a quite nice tool to have. And is there something that I forgot? Not many points left. So there's a distortion correction as well, bit rate, and another point is this one here, the video file format. And as you can see, I'm stepping down or up in the menu by using just these two buttons here. Video file format, you can choose between MP4 and MOV. To go out of the menu, press the on and off button once. Let's go into the photo mode again by pressing the on and off button once. Now you have the camera symbol. Press the arrow that is pointing downwards. And what you can see, you're now in the still menu. Here you can choose the image size. So you have the opportunity to select 16 megapixel, 14, 12, 10, 8, 5, 3, 2, VGA or 1.3 megapixel. You probably end up with a 64 megabyte card with 16 megabyte per image, roughly 40,000 photos. So I leave it now on 16 megapixel. Then you can say I want to change the exposure time, delay capture, 3, 5, 10 seconds or off. You can select the quality, I leave this now in fine. Sharpness, white balance, color, the ISO goes up to 1600. Then you can say, oh nice, I want to record my photos in RAW. Turn it on or off. You still have the image stabilizer, you can change the field of view, and you have a distortion correction and a timestamp, so you have always an indication on your photo when you took that photo exactly. To go out of the menu, quite simple, press the on and off button again. Let's see what this camera offers you. You see now here you're in the photo mode, press the on and off button again, and then you find yourself in that funny menu here. So to go through the entire menu, use these two buttons as before. Then you have a playback function to see what you already recorded. See, to go all through those photos. And I'm pretty sure if I press now the shutter release button, I have an indication of what I have done. To go back, let me see. Yeah, just press the on and off button again. What else? A video lapse. what else do we have? Slow rec, so that's a slow motion. Photo labs, burst mode. Let's see what you can do in the burst mode. Burst mode. If you press this button, then again you end up with the specific menu here. Burst mode, 5, 3 and 10 photos a second, image size, quality, sharpness, white balance, and so on and so on. Then what we can do underwater. Cool, let's see what happens here. I have no idea. Use the submenu, resolution, looping, FOV. I don't see really any change, but maybe the look has changed now. I'm not 100% sure. You can try it out once you're in the sea or near by a sea. Then, what else? That's a drone mode, cool. Then, video labs, slow rec, okay, we've done with that. Motion detection, a car mode, remote control. So that is quite easy. I think you can download the free app for the M20 and control the camera with your smartphone. Then, of course, the most important point here is the setup. So you can say resolution, then you find yourself into a menu that you have seen before. Looping, field of view, low light mode, gyro, and so on and so on. And in this menu here, if you go down, you can set the date and the time. And screensavers, oh my god, frequency, 50 Hertz, okay, rotate, off, okay. So you can rotate the camera, so basically the final footage to the other way around if you hold your camera like that to record. Logo watermark, language, oulala, English, Français, Deutsch, Espanol, Italiano, Portuguese. I have no idea. No idea. Polski, Czechski, Slovenski, Hungarian, Dansk, Netherlands, Turkey. And again, no idea. So let's stick with English. And you can choose a Wi-Fi password here. So that's the password for my camera. No, delete. Go back. Yeah, go back. You can format the SD card. Say yes, okay, or cancel. So to delete all the files. Default settings and version. So that's the M20. I'm using the software version 1.3.1. It's the 3rd of June. No, that's not true. And firmware SJCAM. All right. So what's the car mode? Quite interesting. If you use the car mode, then you end up in the normal video mode, I guess. Then just press this button down here, and then you can use it as a dash cam. And what is quite interesting, you can select loop recording. Oh, what is that? Go on here and say, camera, just always record 3 minutes, and then it's again recording in 3 minutes. When these 3 minutes are over, it's recording again in 3 minutes. 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So it's quite interesting. If you think that you go on the street and you probably gonna have an accident today, just say looping 10 minutes, and as I said, the camera will record 10 minutes and then again 10 minutes and again 10 minutes until something happens. Then you'd say stop, and you have only the last 10 minutes of a video recording, if something happens, of course, on your camera. That's quite interesting because you're not wasting all the memory from your memory card. And one of the last points I want to talk about is the video lapse. That's a time-lapse feature. And as you can see, here's the camera symbol, and down here is now a little clock. If you hit the side button again, which is this one here, say video lapse, and then you can tell the camera, please camera, take a photo every 1, 2, 5, 10, 30 or 1 minute. And these ones are of course seconds. And at the end, the camera merges all your photos. Basically, the camera takes now a photo every 1 second, and another second, and merges them together into a final video. It's quite nice, and you have a slow rec as well. That's a slow motion, and you can say slow motion -2, -4, -8. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching the tutorial on the M20. So this was a user guide. Of course, on my channel will be the review on the M20 compared to the GoPro. And if you have still any open questions, state them below. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye, 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 bye.